What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex. In this video, we got to briefly talk about The Wolf Among Us 2 yet again. This was actually a fun little arc we just went on, and funny enough, I was actually going to cover the beginning of this arc, but turns out it had a resolution. So yesterday on Reddit, there was a post, and I was trying to get to the bottom of it because it wasn't like from a Tom Henderson, a Jeff Grubb, some of the usual suspects, right? This was a Reddit user, and I believe like they had been on the Gaming Leaks and Reddit subreddit for a while, so it's like they were like I don't know, they were a member of it for a while. They had like that recognition, but they were not somebody that was like known for all of these like breaking news. And they posted this small little just blurb right on Reddit where they talked about how The Wolf Among Us 2 is basically like right on the brink of cancelization, right? And I was sent it by a couple of you guys actually, and I was saying, you got to take those things lightly, but it also, some of the stuff that he put in that article seemed like things we already knew, right? Like there was the financial trouble kind of arc to it. And it's like, yeah, we kind of know from IGN's reporting when they talked about Deck 9, and all of that stuff turned out to be true, right? Like the stuff that they said about Deck 9 and Life is Strange obviously turned into Double Exposure. And they talked a little bit about Telltale's financial struggles, right? So it's like, okay, well, whenever some just random person brings in the financials, that part is true, but then they make up a bunch of stuff. So that was kind of the beginning part of this rumor, and that was yesterday, right? They say Telltale basically it's right on the brink of being canceled. They have kind of put it, shelved it almost, and they might actually make an announcement, or they might shut down, all this kind of doomsday stuff, but also not necessarily. Like, while they were fake and while the thing was fake, I don't want to say like all of it's impossible, because ultimately it's still not a great look. I'm never gonna say like how they've handled The Wolf Among Us well. In fact, they didn't even handle the first game well with the release schedule. They've done a terrible job of marketing this, of just having that kind of communication. And I do imagine things have gone kind of bad in the background. Whether they're resolved now or not, we don't really know. But, that kind of thing, I don't think is fake. I don't think is like fear-mongering or anything like that. Like that, they're having a tough time. I really believe they're having a tough time. And they have shown like nothing to the contrary. Okay, so that was yesterday. Now, I actually checked it this morning to see, did it get any more comments? Like, what are people kind of saying about it? And the post was gone. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. So I searched on Google, and there was 2 articles written on it, and one of which talked about how the account actually deleted itself. They deleted their account, not just the post, the account itself. And I thought, oh, okay, that, I don't know how to really feel about that. Some people were actually thinking, well, that gives more credibility because they're kind of like nuking themselves and like going dark or something. But honestly, I don't know. I was always kind of 50-50 on it. And then the one good thing, and maybe this was bait, maybe this was something that they did purposely, I don't know, but Telltale actually responded. Now, they responded by saying that normally they don't respond, which does mean that it must be serious enough, the allegations, that they feel they need to combat it. So look, I'm not saying go out there and make fake leaks, but what is interesting about this situation is, it seemed like it was probably more fake than real from the beginning. They nuked their account. Telltale literally issues a statement saying they don't comment on rumors, and they also don't comment on Reddit posts, and yet they're going to comment anyway and say that the game is okay, and they're excited to show updates when the time is right. So, on one side of things, this person actually got Telltale to speak, right? Now, on the other side of things, we didn't really get much. We got confirmation that the game is still happening. I guess they could lie, like if the game is, again, I think the person did make it up, but say the person was telling the truth. You could lie and say, the game could be in very poor shape, and you can lie and say, yeah, it's going okay. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to be true, but I guess I would side with Telltale on the side that I believe it's still happening, and I've always said that. I mean, I am worried about it. I honestly, my percentage of like confidence is like at an all-time low. I really have very little confidence, like in all, that it's going to be what I want it to be, but I do think it's still going to come out. I guess that's kind of where I'm at right now. So yeah, you get them to talk, but you also get them to really kind of say nothing, right? It's the game is, still happening, and we'll share more when we're going to share more. I don't think we're going to see anything on this game till 2025, and I also pray to God that we actually get the game in 2025. Otherwise, I've already kind of like just disengaged, and I don't know, I've just been kind of distant from the Wolf Among Us 2. I want to replay The Wolf Among Us 1, by the way, and I want to replay it like going into The Wolf Among Us 2. So I would prefer that the game comes out next year so I could replay the first game just so that timing kind of gets right. But honestly, I'm pretty disconnected with the second game right now. And honestly, that is Telltale's fault. It's not some random person who made a rumor up, but it was a very interesting 24 hours. It went from the somewhat belief that the game could get canceled to it's not canceled, but you really don't get too much extra there. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel. Bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.